everyone. Welcome to Ravished. Nick here.
And Donna. Today, Nick is going to review her chosen novel with us. Whatever did you decide on?
Well, the book I chose is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers.
Ooh,
And not to give away my overall critique, but this is going to be a good review.
wink, wink.
Yep.
I'm excited. I know we've been talking about this book for a while, and I have no idea what it's about.
Okay, well, I'm about to tell you. So, first, before we delve into my review, let's catch up on what's been happening these last few weeks. So, Donna, how have you been?
Busy with a capital Z at the end. We had an eighth grade graduation this weekend, and it was kind of weird because from, where we're from, you actually have a formal graduation ceremony with cap and gown when you graduate
Right.
eighth grade. And here it was no cap and gown. They get certificates and it was just different. So I felt out of place. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, that's not very formal, and that's what is traditionally, you know, the
Yeah.
goings-ons.
Yeah. We're from the Midwest, if you can't tell by our nasally accents. But yeah, how
Speak for
about you?
yourself. Um, well, nothing too crazy. We did go camping again because
Ooh.
I'm obsessed with living like I'm homeless. And it rained the whole time. It thundered. We had a few breaks of sunlight and cleared up. But
Yeah.
mainly it was another float trip canceled. Second one in a row. And I didn't even care. I was glad to be out there in the wilderness. And the only bad thing that happened was I let my niece go on a horseback ride and I went with her. And I was scared because couldn't control the vessel and which is the horse. And like I could, but I couldn't. So what I'm saying is my nightmares came true whenever I looked in front of me and she fell off the horse and was on the ground.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, yeah, our niece, my worst nightmare was right in front of my eyes. My heart was beating out of my chest. I felt faint. I thought I was going to pass out. I thought the horse was going to back up and step on her. Um,
So every bad scenario you could think of was going through your mind at that time.
well, absolutely. And then
Yeah.
forgot to mention the dog that ran up on us for 10 minutes and was freaking the horses out. And the
Oh
horses,
my
I thought they'd go straight and steady. Nope, they were going sideways, freaking out. Like,
God.
I don't know what to do. I was just praying. I was praying the
Wow.
whole time. And it's like one bad thing happened after another. It wasn't a beginner's trail. And anyway, that was the only bad thing. Everything else was really great. And I would love to go back there uh, where I
Yeah, I
went.
was gonna say, did you guys tell a lot of scary stories because of the lightning and thunder? Like I could imagine scary story time during a terrifying like pour.
Yeah, no, we kind of stayed in our camper and we played games and cards and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's good. At least you weren't like in a tent. Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Oh, been there, done that, girl. Like once you
Oh,
get a camper, you don't want to go back. But
for real.
that's not even true because sometimes I'm like, it would be so nice just to have a tent and a bag of clothes and some food, one cooler. It's just there's so much involved and
A
can't with a
camper.
camper. Oh my gosh. And they're expensive, but anyway.
That sounds like so much fun. You took our niece camping, your little mini me. I bet she had a lot of fun. You're such a good aunt.
Thank you. Yep. The gem to my heart or whatever they say.
I don't know. I've never heard that expression. So
It's something I just made up. But so good times.
party.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Are you ready to hear about this wonderful book?
Yes, I am on the edge of my seat.
Okay. So, first, I'm going to start about the author. Mrs. Rivers is a New York Times bestselling author inducted into the Romance Writers Hall of Fame, and in 2015, she received the Lifetime Achievement Award from American Christian Fiction Writers. Her novels have been translated in over 30 different languages, so she's a winner.
I mean, I did not know that there was a Romance Writers Hall of Fame. That's crazy. I need to find out where it's at.
Me too. I don't even know where it is. I read about it and I was like, wow, that is super important.
I've never heard of any other author bragging about that.
Me
So that's
neither.
crazy.
But I did just start reading again after 20 years. So anyway, so yeah. So Redeeming Love, the book, was originally published in 1991 and then again in 1997, which is the
Hmm.
version I have that I rented at my public library. And this newer version, they edited to remove any descriptions of the love scenes and any coarse
Hmm.
language to make it
Why?
to make it suitable for the Christian market is what they said.
Oh,
But
okay.
I would just think it would be, because it said I think age 13 and up. I'm pretty sure with this cleaner romance version.
Yeah.
So whoever
Wait,
just
it's
doesn't want
like
to read stuff
a
like
bigger
that.
market. Yeah, it's a bigger market maybe for the book.
Exactly. That's what I meant to say. Thank you. But so yeah, if y'all out there interested in like a steamier love scene book, you can read this book, the 1991 version, and
Yeah.
it maybe would light your fire.
Come on, baby, light my fire, as they
Come on,
say.
baby, light my fire.
I do like
So
that song.
yes. So yes, I didn't even know how biblical this story was, but it's
Mhm.
actually based off the life of Hosea and Gomer in the Bible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I had no idea who they were because I'm a Bible beginner kind of.
Yeah.
uh, but it was very, very good, Donna. I couldn't put it down. You
And
know,
that's a big deal because I've tried to get Nikki or Nick to read about 80 different books and she couldn't even start them.
yeah, I honestly, it's the truth. I did start them, but I couldn't continue. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't feel it.
Yeah.
So, um, anyway, this is one of those books. Like, I was captivated by every line, every word, every expression, and emotion. That's what this book was for me.
You know, I haven't there's maybe a couple books in my adult life I've read like that, but for me the only thing I can relate to that experience is like the Harry Potter books when I was a preteen and like going to the borders and waiting at midnight to get the first release copies of the books because I just couldn't put them down. I had to finish them as fast as possible because the movies weren't out yet, and that's the only thing I can relate it to. I feel like I had to read
Wow, that
every
was a while
single.
ago.
I know, yikes.
So, okay. Well, have you ever heard of Mrs. Rivers?
No, actually, I haven't ever. And I'm
Well,
not just saying that. I really have not. I'm sorry.
no, I believe you. Well, she was introduced to me and recommended by a few close friends
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, I really wanted to enjoy a clean romance novel, including something with a strong message and
Yeah.
with like profound substance, that touched my heart and my soul and made me think and like
Yeah.
it did not disappoint, Donna. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you wanted a book that didn't feel like, some people might feel like sitting and reading is wasting valuable time, that you could be doing other things, but having a book that you feel is speaking to you is different. it feels like it's a purposeful thing you're doing. I understand that.
Exactly. And that's, you hit the bullseye. You did. Good job.
Pat on the back for Donna.
5 stars for Donna. So here we go. I'm starting with the book description.
Okay.
Well, Redeeming Love starts with a summary statement about the book, and here it is. California's Gold Country, 1850. A time when men sold their souls for a bag of gold and women sold their bodies for a place to sleep.
Oh.
And here's the book blurb. Angel expects nothing from men but betrayal. Sold into prostitution as a child, she survives by keeping her hatred alive, and what she hates most are the men who use her, leaving her empty and dead inside. Then she meets Michael Hosea, a man who seeks his father's heart in everything. Michael Hosea obeys God's call to marry Angel and to love her unconditionally. Slowly, day by day, he defies Angel's every bitter expectation until, despite her resistance, her frozen heart begins to thaw. But
Hmm.
with her unexpected softening come overwhelming feelings of unworthiness and fear. And so Angel runs back to the darkness, away from her husband's pursuing love, terrified of the truth she can no longer deny. Her final healing must come from the one who loves her even more than Michael Hosea does, the one who will never let her go.
That sounds like, you know, I know I've experienced similar things, not exactly that, obviously, but, sometimes you just can't believe, like, you still love me after I nag you all the time or do terrible things or have things I'm not proud of in my
Right.
past, and you still love me. Like, it's hard to believe sometimes that someone would still accept you. So I get that. Do you feel
Yeah.
like it was relatable to you?
Yeah. Maybe like in my past or whatever.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it not really because what she went through was very disturbing. I can't really relate to any of that, but
Yeah.
anyway, so
Wait,
Redeeming
I have a
Love.
question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
So
sorry.
some of the terrible things that they showed that she went through, was it was that still in the book? Even though they took out like maybe like intimate scenes, did they keep the traumatizing scenes in?
Now, they carefully kept things in, yes, but like I said, they were careful about their wording. It was not descriptive by any means. It was
Mm-hmm.
just almost like you had to figure it out. It was like a mystery of a statement, or
Okay.
like it was like, what did that just happen? I had to read it a few times
Mm-hmm.
because it was like wasn't much description about it because it was made for, like,
Edited. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That answer your question? Or
Yeah.
so, Redeeming Love is an American Western historical romance drama set in the 1850s gold rush in California.
Mm-hmm.
It has 462 pages in large
Oh.
print. Is that a lot? Well, it's large print.
I don't know. It looks
Okay,
like a thick book when you showed it to me.
it is in large print for us that need or like that, but followed by a magical and endearing note from the author on why she wrote Redeeming Love.
Hmm.
And yeah, just the note from the author was good enough for me, Donna. Like, I haven't been more satisfied with a book in my life.
So when you read it at the end, were you like, oh,
I wrote down what I thought at the end, and I'm going to discuss that
okay.
at the end of our podcast review. So,
Just kidding.
okay, so speaking of the print, do you prefer large print or are you simply a Kindle book reader?
um, I have a lot of books I bought my daughters that I used to read as a preteen, but I don't buy a lot of books for myself in print or rent them. I usually do just read off my Kindle app on my phone, but I do make the font large.
So you're doing large print too. It's just easier to read, and we're getting older, But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the it's less headache
Yeah.
risk.
I mean, I work on a computer all day and I have to have glasses now because of doing it for so long. And just staring at my phone, it's like I don't want to strain to do that after working all day on the computer.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's for
Nikki,
real.
I'm ready to hear about this book. I'm so excited. Get it
Okay.
on. Let's get it on.
All right, all right. So, okay, it starts out with a little girl named Sarah.
Hmm.
Sarah is around 8 years old and seems very pensive and timid. She is described as blonde hair, big blue eyes, curious and innocent.
Mm.
And the initial scene, chapter one, she's there with her mama and papa in her home. And not to give too much away, papa ends up leaving,
Mm.
and mama has to figure out what to do for a living. And she ends up
The
doing the
oldest
only,
profession in the world for
yeah,
women.
yeah, well, I don't know. I think it's massage therapy. I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, it's not.
But she became a prostitute because back in those days, with a bastard child, she had no other options, and
Well,
the
I have a
offers from men were plentiful.
how is she a bastard child when her dad was there? Were they not married?
Right.
Oh, okay, okay.
They were not married, and I didn't want to give too much away because it's an amazing, disturbing story. But he didn't want her. He wanted her to be an abortion.
Oh, okay, okay. So she was pregnant and he left her. Or no, because she was 8.
Right.
So he
I'm
just like
sorry. I didn't want to give too much away, but yeah, it's super sad how the dad
treated
just,
her.
like, she was nothing, and
Yeah.
the mom would give the gifts the dad gave her because he was married.
Oh.
She was really a bastard child. Isn't that what a bastard child is? Whenever,
I mean, that just means when the
oh,
parents aren't married.
fatherless.
Yeah, like they're
Oh,
not they don't, yeah.
well, she was a child from a love affair or whatever,
Okay.
but she didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, so it broke her heart whenever her dad left and didn't even want to.
Hmm.
When she was 8, she finally found that out.
That's sad.
So anyway, mama has to become a prostitute. And, from the brothels to the shacks, this little girl, Sarah, didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
sad.
yeah, she saw everything and anything a little girl at that age shouldn't see.
Yeah, I read stories in the news today and I about kids being exposed to these like today I just read a Miami Beach doctor was trying to buy a 12-year-old as a sex slave. And it's just like that poor baby, like 12 years old. It's so awful. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but
No, it's
I,
it's okay. It's disgusting, and that's
yeah,
it. I mean, this book it gets worse.
yeah.
Um, but so Sarah was suddenly adopted by her drunkard, simple-minded Uncle Rab. So she's no longer with her mom,
Oh, okay.
and I don't want to give that away either.
Oh my God, you already did. Nikki, it's okay.
Oh, so yeah, and he was about as intelligent as a tin can.
Mm.
And he ended up selling her to a pimpstress who owned a brothel due to his ignorance.
I mean, I don't think that was ignorance. I think it was probably him trying to make some money.
No, he actually was a
Oh,
good-hearted person. He was too ignorant. He was like actually
wow.
simple-minded and dumb.
Yeah, he had a
Like
little
he didn't have the
IQ.
capacity to. to understand
Yeah.
what he was doing at all. He
Wow.
really didn't. I mean, I believe that, but so yeah, so Sarah, this little girl, was introduced to grown men at age 8.
Oh my gosh.
Years of that kind of work with those kind of people
Mm.
really hardened her and really desensitized her heart to the
Yeah.
point of her feeling reprehensible. You
Yeah.
know, she grew up to accept she was abandoned by her own parents and that she was contaminated from this life she had led, and therefore she deserved it, all of it.
Mm.
So, her name at the Paradise brothel, which it was called Paradise, Pair-A-Dice, brothel, was Angel. That was her name.
Mm.
And the author describes Angel as just that, angelic, with an ethereal type beauty and a royal presence. She was the highest paid lady of the night or girl,
Yeah.
and most couldn't afford her, even at that time.
Yuck. That's so
And
disgusting.
I know it's super disturbing. By the age of 18, she was looking for a way out, not out of the cold hearted business of prostitution, but of life itself.
Oh, wow. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't blame her because what had she been exposed to in her life that would have made her feel she had value or it was worth like why it sounds miserable. Every second of her life has been awful.
Absolutely. And actually, she also contemplated death when she was 8,
Oh,
too.
that's
That was,
sad.
yeah. So yeah, she's 18. She's had a horrible prostitution life as grown up, as a child, and now
Yeah.
she's an adult, and um, she's been through a whole heck of a lot of bad
Yeah.
stuff, bad men, and even horrible women, and so she's just really hardened, and but what, to her surprise, showed up at her royal tramp chamber but a hard-working, admirable farmer gentleman named Michael Hosea. Michael was narrated as a tall oak tree of a man with a strikingly handsome and very manly appearance, masculine appearance. Rivers creatively utilized him from the book of Hosea, from the Bible,
Yeah.
and she wrote this intense representation of him here. A quiet man who other men respected, he had a clear steadiness of his gaze. End quote. So he was a real gentle alpha male with a heart of gold that made women swoon, and he had caught a glimpse of Angel. He was selling veggies on the street of her town, and she had this unshakable beauty.
Yeah.
And the author wrote, she caught at something deep inside him, a grave, tragic dignity about her. And that really
So
struck my heart chords.
he really went to the brothel because he had seen her and was so mesmerized, like not because he goes to brothels and wants a different lady every night, um but because he had seen her and specifically went to go see her.
Not exactly, but good guess.
Mm.
So he was determined to win her heart, whatever it took. But why, you ask?
Why?
Here it is. After feeling like he fell in love with her at first sight, he heard a voice. It was God. God commanded Michael to make her his beloved. And
So,
honestly, Michael was like, what, God? Like, seriously? A prostitute?
and that's how you talk in 1850.
I
Yeah,
probably would.
that's crazy. So God told him that's your person.
Yep.
Wow.
And Michael Hosea was a God-fearing man, very close
Yeah.
to him. So he was going to listen to him. And so, but she pretty much made him question God like that off and on throughout the entire book. It was so sad. Like this
Oh,
this guy would have walked through hell for her and with her and did kind of actually. I would say yes, she put him through hell.
yeah.
But he was relentless in obeying God and making her his wife.
Did
So,
she willingly become his wife? I know we don't want to give spoilers, but I don't think that's like a huge spoiler. Did she like welcome him as her husband, or did he kind of like, no, you're gonna marry me?
he pleaded with her. He went back several times to plead with her to marry him and leave with him. And she fought him every inch of the way, not thinking she was worthy enough for his type of love and care, and that she was just, gutter trash.
Yeah. So what did, but so they don't really end up together till the end?
Donna, just
Okay, I'm
listen.
sorry. I'm
That's
so
okay.
curious.
So every time she would run away back to the gold line gutter, because she actually did end up going with. Okay, let me stop. So she did end up being with him.
Yeah.
And every time she or and she would run away. She ran away like 5 times. I mean,
Mm-mm.
it was so annoying.
Yeah.
Back to the gold line gutter of a home, and he would go and fight for her back, and she would fight him the whole way, and
Mm.
it was just really awful. I mean, she got beat up and almost killed, and
Wow.
yeah. And he had said to her when she cried out, "Why do you want me?" Like, why me?
Yeah.
He said, and I love this, maybe he figured the horns in your head fit the holes in mine.
Ooh.
And I just got goosebumps when I read that. I just loved it. I had to write it down automatically. But she chose martyrdom
Yeah.
over true undying love, and I was so mad. I was like, she's so stubborn. She almost got killed several times, and her eyes beaten shut, and I mean, botched abortions and all this. I mean,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Donna, this book. But and I would say her life mantra lies in a quote from the beginning of chapter 3 by William Marsh. I can endure my own despair, but not another's hope.
Yeah, like she's so comfortable. It's uncomfortable to be praised or be treated like you're an equal to someone. And it's easier to not have to live up to someone else's expectation when she's never had to. That's really sad.
Yeah, it was tragic. I mean, all of it, but
Yeah.
you'll have to read to find out what all happens. So, um, yeah, so I mean, Rivers, she creates an excellent story of undeniable love between a broken woman and a steadfast man who shows her the way to redemption and mercy.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's,
so
you know, in my marriage, I'm not the kind of Christian who, and my husband isn't either, who forces it down your throat or even really like talks about our religion all the time. But having gone to church together, we know it's made our foundation a lot stronger. And whenever, my husband's stressed about work, the first thing I say, like, have you prayed about it? Have you tried to talk to God and ask for some guidance or just give it to Him and relieve your burdens from yourself, you know?
yes,
So that's pretty cool. And I think it's
precisely.
applicable to a lot of marriages if you're a Christian or whatever religion you are.
Right. I mean, it's what you just said is kind of the theme of the book, but
Yeah.
I'll get to that. So I'd like to take this time to read my favorite paragraph from the book, one that I couldn't get out of my head. And so, not to spoil anything, give too much away, I'll summarize the characters I have not discussed for this paragraph. Um, so, there was a family who she took in to help them, and they were,
Mm,
in my opinion, like an angel family from heaven.
yeah.
Um, the 16-year-old young lady in the family, her name was Miriam. And here's the paragraph. Angel adored her. One minute she was a child like Ruth, full of excitement and mischief, and the next a woman with a mind of her own. Angel told Miriam, I knew a girl once that received a chunk of amethyst as a gift. It was beautiful, bright purple crystals. The man told her it had come from a stone egg he had cracked open, and part of the outer shell was still on it. Gray, ugly, and smooth. She looked at Miriam and said, I'm like that, Miriam, only inside out. All of the loveliness is here as she touched her braid and her flawless face. Inside, it's dark and ugly, and tears welled into Miriam's eyes. Then he didn't look hard enough, Miriam said. You're very sweet, but very naive, Angel said to Miriam. I'm both and neither. I don't think you know me half as well as you think you do, Angel retorted. We know each other as well as we're going to.
That's, speaks a lot to how she thinks of herself. That's really sad.
I know. And
Oh,
but I just liked grave tragic dignity about her. Again, I mean, it's the saddest thing to hear a woman get down on herself, like
yeah.
especially like that. And but these women, they're so strong, and especially Miriam, she being younger than Angel by only 2 years, she was mature and righteous in a good way. And I guess I love the passionate discussion they had. It made me feel inspired by their sturdiness, you know?
Yeah, I feel like Angel may have felt like she was so much older than Miriam because of the experiences she had in life, but
Yes,
you can't discount what Miriam has gone through as well. Even though it wasn't the same, it was different.
right, exactly. And they really both taught each other a lot, and they had
That's
a
good.
wonderful relationship. It was a beautiful, beautiful relationship. But
Well, I mean, she probably never had a friend, you know.
right, the only friend she ever had was this, of course, redheaded, big-breasted, goofy ass, prostitute that her name was Lucky,
Oh
and
my
she
gosh.
and she was just always drunk and having fun, and she never, would let herself feel anything besides just goofy, funny crap.
Wow. So she was
But
escaping into her own whatever.
right. Alcoholism is ran rampant through this whole book too, with
Ugh.
her parents and stuff. But anyway,
So how do you if is if you had to rate the book, what are you giving it?
well, first allow me to explain. So I'd like to present the book's weakness and strength. Its weakness was talking about the main character's weakness all the time, like Angel's. Like it was repetitive, like
Mm-hmm.
there for a minute, like, come on, Lassie, buck up and forgive yourself. Jeez.
Right? Just dragging it on for 420 something pages of how ugly you are on the inside.
Right. And I mean it was back and forth. It really was like, oh, we saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and then it's like, oh, she goes back again. No, but
You know what that reminds me of?
what?
When we get excited when my 1-year-old does something and we're like, yay, oh my gosh, he did it. And then we try to get him to do it again and he'll never do it again.
Right. Oh,
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating.
yeah. I mean, it's so the book's strength was the spellbinding emotion I felt the whole way. I mean, Rivers can captivate at 110%.
Yeah.
And I I just want to say this book was everything, and I can't wait to read another book by Rivers. I mean, the clarity of her work was amazing. She presented such a smooth flow of text and ideas, situations with like an ease of language. I mean, I just ate it all up.
Yeah, I feel like the book I had read last week didn't have that easy flow of scenarios going on. It was very random.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Unorganized. Yeah.
And I heard you tell me you're gonna read a book by her for your next review as well.
Well, I don't know. I actually haven't made up my mind, but
Oh, okay.
it's a possibility. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe we watch a romance movie and talk about it and review it.
Ooh. So
So
we
we'll
both
see.
okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. So do you
It's
I'm sorry, go
some
ahead.
feedback I received from some fans for us to do like
AKA
a
our mom. No, I'm just kidding.
no, like a like a um you know, do a book, read a book together and talk about it,
Yeah. And we
or a
figured
movie.
it's easier to do a movie because Nikki can't put the movie down, you know what I'm saying?
I know. Well, this book was different, but I mean, um, so as far as the characters, were they believable? They were more than believable. I mean, I was
Yeah.
there, I felt her pain. I cried probably a total of 17 times throughout the novel.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I found myself asking, yeah, like, is this Rivers a genius? And how have I not heard of her until now? I mean,
So she
uh,
was really finding your heartstrings and tugging at them.
pretty much the whole time,
Wow.
99.9% of the time. Yeah. So, but I
That's
also want to
funny.
discuss the theme of the book as far as I discovered. It is, quote, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lead not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. End quote.
Definitely.
So that's what you had talked about, right?
I don't know.
Wasn't that it? Oh,
Maybe. I agree. So going back to my earlier question, like how do you rate this book?
I give it a 5 out of 5. 5 stars. It was
That's all?
powerful, Donna.
No, I'm just
Really powerful.
you were crying, you were laughing, you were angry, you were happy, I don't know, happy. It was all over the place, but in good ways.
Yeah, everything. It was a book that you can escape into for sure. And
Yeah.
you don't want to put it down. But I did, like, I put it down so many times at the end because I didn't want it to end.
That's funny.
I was scared. I was having like nervous breaks.
Because it was just like ending. Oh, is it? Are there any sequels or like other characters get more books that you know of?
No, there was a prologue. No, 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 not a prologue. Epilogue
Oh,
at
okay.
the end that kind of tells like their
It ties
really
it up.
it sums up the rest of their life and
Oh, okay.
or
What
her
about
life or his life. Can't
didn't
give that
it?
away.
Isn't it? They turned it into a movie too.
Yes. And I have only seen the trailer and I was like, "Oh my God, I want to see this movie so bad," but I never did. I never got into it. To seeing it. And then now that I read the book, I cannot wait to go watch the movie. I'm like freaking out.
Wow. That'll be exciting. You'll be just
Yes.
like quoting the whole book while the movie's happening.
Maybe they say sometimes they're so different. I mean, the movie will probably be better than the book in ways, even though the book's better than the movie in ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll be
That's
able to put a
cool.
person to the face to the person or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
So
you did a really good job. I mean, that's totally a book I never would have picked up. It's just not my, choice of or flavor.
right.
But it was really interesting to hear about it. I think you did a good job.
Thank you. I mean, I wanted to say so much more.
It's hard. I know.
I encourage everyone to just check this book out. I feel like, if you're a Christian or not, I mean, it's a love story and we all love romance and so
Yeah, and they made it into a movie, so it's got to be something. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's that's amazing. I love it. Read it.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on our second episode. Our next episode, I think we're going to do the movie review.
Yeah, romance movie,
Yeehaw!
love story movie.
Can't wait. We don't know what it is yet, but we'll let you know in a couple weeks. Um, thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe, review, um, and follow us on at Ravished Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Give us recommendations. We appreciate the feedback and are so grateful for everyone who's listened.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.